Hey guys, welcome back to a new video by Aviation Tracker. So, in today's video, I'll be answering to a very common doubt and an important doubt of people, especially the plane enthusiasts and the air travelers. That is, how can the pilot know when to descend? What are the tricks or methods used for finding the exact or the approximate distance to descend and land the passengers safely to the destination airport? So many pilots make a slight error or are in confusion while calculating the distance for descent to make an approach, at least once in their flying career. This is due to the fact that simply landing is much more difficult and complicated than takeoff. So, for today's explanation, I won't go into much detail and technical part, but I might need your brains to be active for understanding few technical terms and few calculations. Also, if you haven't seen my last video of power back explanation, then you may watch it now and list down all your suggestions in the description box. The link will be provided in the description box. And by the way, an important note, I have provided you with a list of words and their meanings in the description box. You may use it while watching the video simultaneously. So, let's get started. Now, first of all, mind well that the descent procedure normally for most of the wide body jets, heavy jumbo jets, Boeing 747, small passenger jets, etc. are slightly different. Hence, a 747 cannot be descended as quick as or as light as an Airbus A320 because the Airbus A320 can glide much more when its spoilers are active, comparable to the flying piano, the 747. Now, let's jump to the main topic. So, in your air travel, sometime you might have seen the pilots doing a visual approach. That is, by seeing out of the window and looking for the airport. But this isn't the case now. Such approach are no longer allowed, at least not within the airline industry. Now, you might have seen few aviation related videos wherein you see few abbreviations or symbols on the navigation display. So, the pointer here indicates the top of descent with respect to the entered flight plan in the FMGS on the Airbus planes and the FMS on the Boeing jets. But it is not sufficient for a pilot to just know the point of descent. Instead, he or she should know much more than that. So, let's discuss few thumb rules to not to spoil a pilot's approach. Now, imagine yourself as a pilot who is going to make an approach towards the airport of Hamburg, Germany. Now you have searched the airport procedure. So if you see these two NDs on the PFDs, not the PDFs. As an example, you can observe both of them has a top of descent point at different locations, while the destination remains the same. Now how can that be? Now the right ND shows a landing of direct approach, while the left one shows the transition approach. Now, the transition approach is an approach procedure in order to slow down the incoming traffic, making it a lot more easier for the approach controller to manage the movement of the planes, called as the pushing tin, before handing over the control to the tower controller. So accordingly, it is said that transition approach has a top of descent point much far than that of a direct approach, as the first one requires descent at a bit more distance than the other one. Now let's take an example. Imagine that you are going to a market to buy some groceries and your mother instructs you to call her 30 minutes prior to the arrival. So initially, you had planned to go directly to the store and follow the instructions. But afterwards, you think of meeting one of your friends, taking a slight detour and then 30 minutes prior of reaching the store, you call your mother. Now imagine the point at which you are 30 minutes far from the store as the top of descent point, the planned route as the direct approach, and the new route as the transition approach, and you will understand the logic behind it. Now when the controller instructs you to perform a direct approach, always opt for a shortest distance between you and the runway. So for today's video, we'll be using the Spirit of St. Louis Airport, situated in America, for explanation. Now, the first thing to figure out for a descent planning is what descent rate you want to choose, which shall be your constant vertical speed in feet per minute. So let's take here as 500 feet per minute. And let's figure out the airport elevation, that is 463 feet MSL, which can be figured out from the airport chart such as this and airport diagrams. And now let's see what is the air traffic pattern altitude, where the ATC normally holds the incoming planes until the runway is cleared for the next successive landing. Mostly the pattern altitudes are about 1000 feet AGL, but it is not always the case. So let's see what is the pattern altitude for this airport. Now according to the sources from airnav.com, under the airport's operation section, it is visible that the pattern altitude for propeller aircrafts for landing on runway 08 right or 26 left is 1237 feet AGL. So accordingly, we get a total of 1300 feet MSL as pattern landing altitude, which is given in the information. Next, we figure out our altitude to descend till the pattern altitude. Now let's say that we are flying a current altitude at 6000 feet. So accordingly, if we subtract 1300 from it, we are left with 4700 feet to descend. Now let's represent the following data in the diagram. Now we need to know that how much time we will require to reach the pattern altitude. Now, as we will be descending at a rate of vertical speed equal to 500 feet per minute, that is, in every minute we will descend a total of 500 feet vertically. So how much time will it take to descend 4700 feet? Let's check out. So let's divide 4700 feet by 500 feet, which gives us 9.4 minutes. Now, the next task is to figure out how much descending airspeed we need to take. Let's say, for example, 100 knots. So that this will help us in giving that from what distance from the airport we'll begin our descent. So, as we have taken the speed in knots, let's convert it in nautical miles per minute. So first, we shall write our descending airspeed as 100 knots. Now let's see how does 100 knots get converted into nautical miles per minute. Now assume that 1 knot is equal to 1 nautical mile per hour. Hence, 100 knots will be equal to 100 nautical miles per hour. Now let's convert 100 nautical miles per hour in nautical miles per minute. So in order to convert that in nautical miles per minute, we divide that the number 100 by 60. This ultimately turns out to be 1.67 nautical miles per minute. Now, how many miles will be covered in 9.4 minutes? It's easy. If you apply speed equal to distance upon time formula, we accordingly multiply 1.67 miles per minute by 9.4. This approximately turns out to be 15.67 nautical miles. So, accordingly, we need to start our descent when we are 15.67 nautical miles far from our runway. But always descend a little early from it, as you may need to change it due to some obstacles, ATC orders, terrains, wind speed, etc. Now let's represent it on the diagram. So, with all such calculations, we finally get the shortcut to find the top of descent point. So with that said, I would like to end my video here. And as always, if you like this video, please hit the like button and press the share button to share this video to your friends. Also, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to see more videos. All the sources of the video and few extra links will be provided in the description box, so you can refer more about it through that. Please write down your reviews, and if you have some doubts regarding the video or any other aviation related topic, then please feel free to share it in the comment section, which I would love to answer. And don't forget to put up the topics on which you would like to see the video on relating to aviation interest. The next video will be uploaded in few weeks, so stay tuned for more videos. Also, I forgot to mention that the next time you fly in a plane, find the time remaining to land and the airspeed in your infotainment system present in your plane, so that you can estimate about the rate of descent and the top of descent point from the airport. And if you're traveling with the family, then you can show off them your skills and be the smartest at that moment. Although in this coronavirus outbreak, most of the countries have restricted air travel for some time, so there's no chance of traveling through it in such worst times. So stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. And do watch my videos if you get some interesting knowledge which you might haven't heard in your life, as this is the best moment to take the advantage for utilizing your free time. Thank you.